Perfect. Hi guys, welcome to our Discord community call. My name is Jelena, I'm part of the marketing team at Dovu, and I will be hosting this call. People answering the questions, the ones that we already have in pre-listed, and also the ones that you put during this call in the marketing channel will be answered by Irfan Watkins, who is our founder, and Matt Smith is who is our CTO. How we kind of envision this is we're going to give you a little breakdown of each of the components of our solution, and then after that we would start answering questions. The reason for this is because we think it's this call should be about the community and answering everything that you might want to ask, which is product related. So I think our guys don't need introduction. So I would just say, Irfan, Matt, would you be ready to answer? Just give a little bit of breakdown. We had quite a few things coming out in the past month. People, our main components that we focus on are the API, the carbon calculator, and carbon market cap, which kind of is like a trio behind our solution. So if you can talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah, thanks, Jelena. You know, as anybody who's been involved with Dovu for a while will know that we've been leading up to the launch of our end-to-end solution for some time. You know, our mission to be the sort of trusted sort of partner and platform for the retirement of carbon, you know, is well underway, and the products that we have got out there right now are components, you know, within that overall strategy and that overall platform. So, you know, what's you know, part of our platform, of course, is based on you know, the demand, you know, people that want to purchase and offset carbon, and then supply the farmers and other projects that want to sell carbon. So what you're seeing right now with the sort of products that we've got live are products really on the sort of demand side of it. The supply will come, you know, but it's really around the demand. So, you know, we are friends of crypto. We are friends of blockchain. Everything that we do is built on it. You know, we're here not to condemn the carbon footprint of the cryptosphere. Our job really is to educate and highlight the crypto footprint of our sort of technology, and facilitate a sort of a frictionless way through which we can offset that sort of that footprint, and that as a result of that will end up with a more regulatory compliant sort of crypto environment for us all to operate in, which would be good for our business, good for our partners, and sort of good for the world as well. So the three products that we've got right now are the carbon market cap, we've got the calculator, and the API. And actually, it's probably best for me to stop talking and let Matt chat a little bit more about the products themselves.
Cool. Thank you all. And so, to reiterate, got those three things. We first came out with, I think this was a couple of months ago, with the carbon calculator. This allows anyone to kind of come in and have an understanding of their emissions just through their basic Ethereum wallet. Very simple in terms of an interface, MetaMask. And so it kind of gives people an entry point into the transactions they've made, actually have an impact, and that will help kind of give visibility to the problem. On the other extreme side, we've got like carbon market cap, which looks at every single active Ethereum project. Like that's live today. So that's like over 2,000 projects. And we scan the new emissions every day, and we can generate a list of carbon debt, Dovu to offset, and you can search, and it's very kind of interactive. And the third component ties it all together, which is our API, which powers both the calculator and carbon market cap. But the critical thing about the API is all the data that you see in both products is anyone, whether you're a developer or just anyone really, you can actually plug away and just like put it on your browser and actually see the data come through. So it's kind of, we've created effectively this open platform for carbon data on the blockchain.
We had a lot of discussions on our channels around the carbon market cap and why is it there? Because obviously there is like this fine line which we kind of walk between, people feeling like called out for their emissions versus empowering companies to own their carbon footprint and do something about it. So how do you feel about it? Like, how do you see it? You hear me?
Yes. Well, the way I basically say it is, imagine. You want to take it on? Sorry, Heather.
Yeah, sorry. You broke up there, Jonas. So sorry about that. Look, I mean, our products are there, not just to, are there to sort of, it's marketing, frankly. These products are there to, onboard our customers being crypto projects. All the projects that are listed in Carbon Market Cap are target customers of Dovu. Okay, they're going to help the Dovu ecosystem. They're going to help our token. They're going to help everything involved with Dovu, because what we're doing is first of all showing them what their legacy footprint is and offering them a way to be carbon neutral. And what project doesn't want to go out there and say, "Hey, we're a carbon neutral project"? It's not something that companies, whether they're in crypto or in any other part of the sort of technology world or even the offline world, can ignore. You have to address your carbon responsibilities, basically. And our job through these tools is to make it really simple for people, first of all, to understand their obligation, and secondly, to sort of fulfill it really by offsetting. And it's not hard to do. It's not expensive to do, and, we believe that, we will be the go-to platform for organizations to use to offset. And we're crypto's friend. We're not crypto's foe.
Cool. Okay, so I think this ties nicely in one of the questions that we've been asked to address on this call. So the question is, can businesses offset their carbon with you? Would you be able to calculate how much seed of Amazon and Apple would need to offset their carbon debt?
So a good question, but I suppose it gives us a chance to talk about what we do and what we don't do. So what we're not carbon consultants. We don't go and sit with an organization and take a look at how much carbon they're using every day in order for them to keep their business going. There are plenty of organizations around the world who do that. So what we are able to do, however, is to, once they've done that and been through that process, and they know how many tons of carbon or kilograms of carbon, in the case of the two companies that you've talked about, tons of carbon that they are actually, sort of using every day or week. We're then able to take that number and then offer them a trusted solution so that they can purchase that carbon, and it can be counted once, ledgered on a decentralized ledger, and retired. And we can provide receipts right through the purchase through to the retirement of that carbon. And that's what we mean by a trusted layer, is that it's trusted, ledgered, and it can't be double counted, and there's no double spend, which obviously is one of the key sort of features of DLTs.
Cool. There is another question which kind of ties into this. It says, how many farmers are you currently partnering with, and how much carbon are you likely to be able to secure? We are supporting Dovu for the future of our planet.
We're starting off. Our aspiration is to onboard 10 farms really over the next few months. We're not going to go out and sort of on board at scale until we're ready to do so, but the amount of carbon stored within these farms are in the thousands and thousands of tons. So it's not so much really about sort of how many farms you take on. It's really making sure that there's enough carbon in the farms that make the value proposition sort of stack up. So I think for the rest of this year, we'll slowly build up, and we'll then be ready to scale based on some real data, for 2022.
So what you're saying is basically that it's not just about how many farms we onboard, but also like what is the quality of these farms in a sense of how much carbon it is stored within a soil.
Yeah, so when you launch a marketplace, as we're doing, you've got to make sure that there's a sort of good balance between the demand and the supply, and you've got to make sure so that neither party is disappointed. If we onboarded millions of tons of carbon, and the farmers were sat there expecting to get paid, and we didn't have the demand side set up properly, we'd have a disappointed farmer. On the other hand, if we had sort of ramped up and we've got huge amount of demand, and we didn't have the supply, again we'd have disappointed customers. So really, it's getting that balance right, which is something that we're very conscious of doing. So it's more about a cautious, correct approach to make everybody happy than to sort of go gangbusters and load up with millions of tons of carbon.
Okay, cool. Before we continue, I just wanted to welcome everybody else who joined meantime, and to tell you that marketing channel is open for questions. So anything that cross your mind that you would like team to address, please make sure you pop it in the marketing team, and we will get to it after we answer the questions that we already have. Okay. Here is a fun one. Where is this company located? In a small village upstairs of a bakery shop. Why we never see any photos from Dovu office, team members working together? Is this company exist on paper only?
I'd love to. I'll tell you what, I'd be twice the size I am if we were working above a baker's shop. I would love to work above a baker's shop and just eat custard slices all day. Look, look, you can see us, we're real. It would be insane for us, to have a large carbon footprint, a centralized office, expect staff to travel from wherever to come to an office to sit and do work when we're talking about, first of all, we work in a decentralized business. Secondly, we manage our footprint. Thirdly, we take the best talent from around the world to build teams, so it's not about where they live and if they're close to an office. So I think the world's changed, and flash offices is about sort of vanity, and our business is based on sanity. So no, we're real, but you won't see pictures of flash offices or Ferraris.
At the same time, I would say that we did last week come all together and had a very productive day and a team building, and it was really nice to finally sit in the same place and just enjoy. But yeah, we offset our carbon footprint. Don't worry. Okay, thanks for that. So where are CDOVs when are CDOV connected with EU emission value? I'm not sure I understand this question, but maybe one of you do.
It's probably linked to the price of carbon in the EU sort of carbon marketplace, and are we linking the price of our carbon to to a sort of standard, whether that's EU. I think there are three really major marketplaces right now, and that's EU, UK have just started, but post Brexit, God help us, and the US. So at the moment, the CDOV, the price of carbon is another thing that is a work in progress. So when you take a look at a global carbon price index, that covers so many different types of projects that it's probably not the best indicator. But we're working on that, and we're going to decide really based on, I suppose, what the farmers want. At the end of the day, what you got to take a look at as well is a farmer's going to go to market the same way as they take any other product to market. They take corn to market, they'll take their livestock to market. They'll have a price that they want, okay, for that sort of product, and it'll be the same in this place. They will present a price that they think that they want, and then the buyer will decide a price that they want to spend on it. So over a period of time, we will find the right number for the cost of carbon, and it may be that it's linked to the European price index. It may be that it's not.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad you understood this one. Okay, and question, is there going to be staking on Dovu platform for Dovu holders?
So you're talking about like single staking, like rather than being a liquidity provider?
I believe so.
I think I think that there'll be multiple opportunities with the utility of the token to sort of benefit outside of the liquidity, mining that we have, which of course has impermanent loss risks. And we've been working on a number of different options, as to how best to do that. Some of the things we've been talking about is the ability to stake Dove and then offset your life basically through the staking of Dove. We've looked at that. We haven't really come up with the right metrics for it yet, but it's an interesting idea that we haven't executed against yet. I think right now, the token is at the heart of our business, and but what's critical is that we focus our attention on launching the platform that we're launching on, and then we can focus our attention on some other uses for token holders.
Cool. Thank you, Irfan. Let me find something for Matt. Can you please explain how NFTs will be part of the carbon offset? Matt, do you want to pick this one up?
Well, yeah, of course. Our kind of NFT process is kind of processed through Hedera, because Hedera is probably the most, if not one of the most environmentally friendly kind of DLTs out there. And so the way we process that is the Hedera service provides a number of interesting capabilities. You've got the token service, which is very easy to use, and you've got the consensus service. Through Hedera, we create the NFTs, and we can basically bind and attach all the evidence to the actual physical NFT, as it were. And so when people buy these, the transfer, these NFTs, would actually act as the retirement of the carbon. And so our NFT structure is through Hedera rather than through kind of traditional kind of Ethereum Dove itself.
Okay. Irfan, do you want to add something, or can we move to another question?
You can move on.
Okay. So I found Dovu through Hedera. What about HBAR and HTS tokens?
Well, yeah, I think. Oh, sorry, the other one?
No. I'll leave that to you.
So the really cool thing about Hedera is they basically have taken responsibility of their entire network, where they've offsetted, and they're actually carbon positive. So the Hedera transactions and the HTS tokens are green by nature. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean third-party projects using Hedera are green themselves, but you can be rest assured that you know Hedera and HTS tokens are green and kind of more environmentally friendly, which is a huge benefit when compared to like something like Bitcoin or Ethereum.
And as for Hedera tokens themselves, I mean, we're a multi-token, multi-network sort of offering right now. We have sort of Polygon, we've got BSC, we have Ethereum. So multi-chain is the way that we're set up, and I'm sure that Hedera will join. We'll have Hedera tokens within the Dovu ecosystem as well.
Cool. Thanks, guys. What is an easy way to think about carbon emissions?
Oh, in terms of basically in terms of kind of Dovu and carbon emissions within kind of Ethereum, one thing we kind of basically discovered with carbon market cap is this kind of ratio. So imagine like the Ethereum network, imagine Tether, imagine all these big kind of projects. We basically discovered that the ratio was around 1,000 to 1, which means if for like let's say $1,000 market cap, $1 of that would be emissions. And so this proves that the carbon emissions of the network are really, really low, but it also gives us an opportunity to talk to businesses to say, hey, look, all you need to do is say, if somebody transacts, let's say $100 with you, then you could add a little kind of offset check for Dove for like the 10 cents area. So even if you compare that to like the gas fees of Ethereum, then we have an easy way to kind of access and bridge the gap for the layperson to understand, I only need to spend 10 cents on this $100 transaction in order for me to be carbon positive.
Okay, Irfan, do you have anything to add, or can I move to the other question?
No, you can move.
Okay. Can I get the tokens for helping out? It's not my question. That was the question in the community.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I suppose we offer tokens for lots of different things over the years. We've offered tokens for, getting involved with AMAs. We've offered tokens for sort of, the best questions. We've offered tokens for retweets. So yeah, the bottom line is that there's always marketing tokens available, to help marketing team achieve their goals. Is there anything available right now? Probably not. But if you've got a suggestion, then let's I'm sure that the team would love to hear it.
I think I'll jump in to So I'm not sure if anyone was really around last year, but we started like a developer grant, and that's something we're going to continue. So if you interact with our APIs, our carbon APIs, and you create like really cool stuff, and you want us to kind of be part of that, let us know, and then we can kind of help support that process. Like imagine, like even if you're an individual with no programming skill, you can research like no-code platforms, and you can create your own apps that like plugs into our carbon API. You could, let's say, have an app that like is an Amazon Alexa app. So you could be like, hey Alexa, what's the current carbon debt of Tether? And be able to like spit that back. And I mean, those cool experiences is things we're open to supporting.
I love how you put Alexa there. I found it so creepy. But yeah, good luck to anyone using Alexa. That's not coming into my house anytime soon. Okay, there is a question. I'm not a developer. Why should I care about Dovu?
I'm not a developer, but I care about Dovu. So, I mean, everybody should care about Dovu. Dovu's about actually rewarding farmers for storing carbon in their land, okay, that will actually help the environment and ultimately protect us all. So we're part of the solution, okay, to something that is affecting every single one of us on the planet. So if you don't care about Dovu, that's your choice, but you should care about our mission, and you should care about what the vision of what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah, I believe this question was there more because we lately pushed so many product-related news, and I think this was more on a marketing side to say, okay, like talk to non-developers or something like that. So we'll definitely take this on board and see what we can do about it. But yeah, definitely, we are not a developer-savvy community, I would say. Okay. When Ethereum moves to proofs of stake, is carbon market cap going to be redundant?
I can cover a little bit of that if Matt wants to pick up on it later. It's every single thing that we do, what we're doing now on Discord has a carbon footprint. Every single thing that we do does, so it's brilliant. When Ethereum moves to proof of stake, absolutely fantastic. It still means there's a carbon footprint to be counted. This still means there's a legacy to be dealt with. There's a carbon debt, that needs to get paid, really. So absolutely not. But in an ideal world, everything that we do would be redundant. I'd love to wake up tomorrow and say, hey, we don't need to store carbon anymore, guys. There's no need for carbon credits. The world is saved and everything's cool. And we could all go and do something else for a living. So, ultimately, our vision is to make Dovu redundant.
Cool. Matt, do you want to say something more on this topic?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when Ethereum moves to proof of stake, it's probably going to lower the carbon emissions by, could be something like 99%, which is incredible. But there's still going to be this kind of carbon debt present for projects. But even more so, there's ongoing pressure from the environmental side and from the social side and from the community side for, every project, crypto or otherwise, to kind of take action. And we want to be the linchpin of that equation.
Great, thanks.
I will just add one thing to that. Okay, we're targeting crypto right now. Okay, because that's got such a high footprint and it's where we're at. Dovu's not about just looking at crypto companies and just crypto projects. We're focused on all projects. And all companies. Whether you're the butcher, baker, candlestick maker, or crypto, wallet holder, or whatever else it is, we don't care. So it just happens that we're targeting crypto right now. So, yeah.
Here's a question: when are other tokens and ecosystem going to be added? I guess we're talking about different blockchains rather than tokens.
Well, they are being added. I mean, we're on Polygon, we're on BSC. You can buy Dovu on PancakeSwap. You can buy it on QuickSwap, and you can buy it on Uniswap. And I'm sure there'll be lots of other swaps that you can buy it on soon. So they've been added all the time. And we just talked about Hedera and their ecosystem that they're building out, and I've no doubt that you'll be able to get Dove on a Hedera ecosystem, at some point soon.
I will also add, like, kind of with a kind of view of our kind of products, especially with that kind of carbon market cap. We're obviously very focused on the Ethereum kind of side for all of the active projects. And kind of the primary reason for that is it is the largest chain. That is a general chain whereby you can create tokens, you can create your own projects. And it's a good place to start because we can actually show and display this data, and people can share it. They can send it to their favorite project and say, hey, there's a real problem here. When more and more people, and we have spoken to multiple projects on this already, when there's more of a demand, we're going to add more and more kind of ecosystems to carbon market cap. But for now, like, Ethereum is the focus because it's just so easy to search for your favorite project.
Thanks. I guess, Matt, this is also for you. Nobody understands your roadmap. Q2 items came on Q3. Q3 items are on Q2. Explain your roadmap in detail.
We're actually we are our roadmap is interesting because everything with the startup changes. The interactions you have with every party along the way kind of updates and changes. Like there are a whole magnitude of things that's happened recently, from our multi-chain redemption system to our Dovu certificates, and how everything morphs and changes. I do remember this question about design being one of the items on the roadmap, which is a bit of a misnomer because the formatting of the website makes it look like design is a thing. But in line, that was to do with our ecological token design, whereby if you have a token and then pin it to a consensus service. So we are updating our roadmap to make it clearer for everyone. And just thank you for commenting and keeping us sane.
Yeah, I'm just reading. These are the questions that came through in the last week or so. Irfan, did you want to add something on this?
I just think, look, a roadmap is, sets out a direction, and sometimes that direction is more zigzag than sort of in a straight line. And in fact, it's always zigzag and not in a straight line. So, bear with us. I think we could do a better job of communicating, where we are at any given time, but also with a small team, we're also very focused on getting our heads down and getting things done. And as Matt says, things change all around us. So that makes us zig and zag, but the direction of travel is consistent, and we're very clear about what we're doing.
Yeah, I agree. How are you planning to utilize the carbon market cap to connect other projects into the community?
Well, this is a marketing tool basically, and it's a powerful one. For me to be able to contact my peers, in the crypto sort of world and go, hey, look, you've got this is the amount of carbon that you've burned in order to get where you are. Let's talk about doing a deal, where you can offset that. So for me, the carbon market cap is a constant reminder to crypto projects as to what their debt is, what their ongoing, cost is. And hey, look, they sort of poking them in the shoulder all the time saying, we're here to fix this, we're here to help you. And it's a great sales tool, frankly. It's a fantastic sales tool in order for us to reach out and offer assistance to projects that need the assistance to get carbon neutral.
Yes, I believe that we answered this question earlier as well when we talked about carbon market cap.
Yeah, and I think this is something for the community as well. If you're buying tokens, you can see on carbon market cap what the carbon debt is of the tokens that you wish to purchase, for whatever reason you're purchasing them. At the same time, you can tweet or contact, sort of someone in that organization saying, hey, I'm a big, I'm a fan, I'm a contributor, I'm a token holder, but I don't like your carbon debt. Why don't you just engage with Dovu and do that? So the community has a role to sort of to prod and poke people as well as us doing it directly.
Sure. Okay, so we are down to our last question. So I would invite everybody who's on a call and who has any questions that haven't been answered yet to pose them. And the reason why I put this question last is because, the question is how tokenomics this project. So I guess people want to understand the tokenomics behind the project. Can we answer that, or?
The tokenomics of Dovu have changed dramatically, since the launch of Dovu. So anybody who's been with us from the beginning will have known that our original plan was to be a token of reward for multiple things, data being one of them. And we built a white paper and went out and sort of launched that. We then did about 5 or 6 different trials, different sort of pilot projects with different, mainly car companies, but really didn't find a product market fit. And therefore, the token economic model that we had then sort of didn't sort of stack up. So, we haven't really published or republished our token economic model since then. Like I say, we've been focused on the product itself, and I know that the token is at the heart of that. And what I would say is that hasn't gone unnoticed, externally or internally. And I would expect us to be releasing something over the next few weeks, which would sort of give better clarity of how the Dove token interacts with the sort of marketplace and the end-to-end platform that we're launching. So that isn't a small piece of work, and it's ongoing, and it sort of ties back into, is it going to be staking? What else can we do with the token, and so on. All of those things are interrelated as to what the economics of the sort of token, will be, and how it interacts with CDOV, and a whole range of other things. So it's been a long time. I know we've sort of pivoted the business, and what I'd say is bear with us as we finally wrap our heads around exactly what that token economic model looks like.
Thank you, Irfan. Okay, we have the question in the marketing channel from hello, my name is Pi. Hi, Pi, my name is Jelena. Have you thought about contacting media outlets and news sites to promote this carbon market cap list and put pressure on these coins? Well, I guess this is really a question for me, isn't it? So I'll try and answer it. Yes, the simple answer is yes, but the thing is, we don't want to put pressure on these coins because we kind of have to walk a fine line. We don't want to upset projects by, putting pressure on them. Rather, we want to encourage them and enable them to take ownership of their carbon footprint, because there is a lot of social pressure and media pressure on blockchains of all sorts, how bad we are for the environment, etc. But when you look at the grand scheme of things about the carbon footprint of banks, for example, who everybody use in order to get paid, etc. We think it's just there is this social pressure already there, and there is no need for us to put an extra pressure. I would say rather than that, we will use media outlets and news websites to publicize and empower companies to reach out to us and talk about how they can offset their carbon footprint through Dovu. Irfan, do you want to add something to it?
Yeah, I mean, if you look from a PR perspective and what the headline is the headline, hey, crypto is bad for the environment? Well, that's a boring headline because it's everybody knows that it is, and then you go, hey, there's a product over here that sort of fixes that. Well, again, that's a sort of a Me Too sort of solution. So there isn't a sort of an angle there really that gets sort of mainstream media that excited, because they don't care about the nuance of the fact that we're doing it on distributed ledger. What they care about is what's the headline, what's the grab. So I think and that doesn't really I think affect the use of our token or the growth of our sort of ecosystem. What's going to benefit us most is, as Jelena said, is the sort of soft deals that we're doing, the ones that are going under the radar so far. Okay, so when they come out, you'll realize that they've purchased X amount of tokens, in order to offset their sort of projects. And it's those, and then it's a good news story. It's about X project becoming carbon neutral. It isn't about taking a sort of a hammer and bashing them over the head. It's actually offering them a solution so that they can turn that into a positive news story to say we are now carbon neutral or carbon positive because of our partnership with Dovu. When we take a look at one of our partners, Rainy, for example, you know, it's an NFT platform. You know, that's exactly what they're doing is using Dovu to become, you know, to offer a carbon neutral and carbon positive NFT platform for their consumers and for their creators. And that's the sort of projects that we want to be working with. When we take a look at the conversations that we have with Ocean Protocol, for example, it's about Ocean Protocol and their ecosystem becoming carbon neutral, carbon friendly, and also leveraging the data that we're using as well to be offered for sale within Carbon Marketplace. So this whole thing becomes a positive thing. And one thing we should all know, we're all old enough to know, mainstream media don't like positive news. They like negative news. You know, there's good news stories don't sell. So you know, we'll do the good news stories through business development and partnerships.
Cool. And the question, seeing that you're partially owned by Jaguar, can we see the Dovu brand on the electric Jaguar I Type 5?
No. You know, Jaguar Land Rover, through their investment arm in Motion Ventures, invested in us in the first iteration of Dovu. And, you know, that as I've just mentioned earlier, what happened to that really as we sort of moved to where we are now. We have not engaged at all with Jaguar Land Rover around the new version of Dovu. So I'd hope that as they move to become all electric in the next sort of 5, 6, 10 years, then they'd re-engage, or we'd re-engage with them. But it's frankly, it's not a priority for us. And yeah, it's not a priority for us to do that.
Thank you. Okay, those are all the questions that we had so far. If there is anybody online who would like to post any other question, now would be a good time. If not, I would encourage everybody to join our Telegram and Discord channels. I really like this question about how we can use media outlets and news websites to promote carbon market cap, and I would really like to hear our community throwing ideas. It's definitely useful, and I think it's a very positive conversation to have and engage with. Other than that, I think, since I'm not seeing anybody typing, I think this is it for this call. Anything else, Irfan, Matt, that you would like to add before we close this call?
From me, no. I think the more calls we have like this, the better. The more questions that we get, the better. We want to be as transparent as we're able to be, and yeah. So if you want to do this again.
Yeah, also we want to explore other ways of communicating with our community. So please feel free to tell us if you like this kind of communication, if you would like it to be more two-sided. Maybe we can use a Telegram voices. We are open to suggestions of how you would like us to conduct our community calls, and we do want to make these a regular thing if you find this useful as a community members. Okay, well, I hope everybody has a good day, evening, and I'm hoping to see you in our channels. Thank you, Irfan. Thank you, Matt, for your time. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
Thanks, everyone.
See you
Bye.
next time. Bye.